in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes remaining for Jarrett Stidham. After the game, Belichick said, quote, "Cam is our quarterback." We are now joined by Fox Sports NFL analyst Michael Vick. Michael, is the Cam Newton experiment in New England failing?
Yeah, as of right now, currently it's failing because they're 6-7 and not 7-6. Below 500 is not going to do it as of right now, Alex. And you know, when I look at this team, it's a plethora of things. It's not just Cam; it's a collective effort. When I seen Michael Brockers come straight up the middle last night, I put myself in Cam's shoes. What would I have done? And basically nothing. I couldn't have got away from that. And there was other things that happened in the game, other variables that led to the destruction of the Patriots last night. But, you know, when you look at Cam Newton and what he's been able to do, some games have fallen on him in terms of the losses, and some games he's been able to help them win. So, you know, I look at this team overall, and it's just been a collective effort. But as of right now, you know, this team is not thriving. They're not getting better. You know, it's not just because of Cam, though, and I will continue to say that. You know, Cam has been a part of the problem. He hasn't been a part of the solution either. But, you know, in terms of moving forward, I think that they can continue to build, you know, with Cam Newton and what they have. And just like, you know, every other quarterback around the league, he was limited. He was limited. And Cam, more so than anybody, was limited with weapons. So, look, I'm not going to get into that. You know, this is about Cam and you know, moving forward. You know, I certainly think that they can continue to ascend if they put the right pieces around Cam. But as of right now, Alex, you know, they're failing.
For the first time in almost 2 decades, Skip, the Patriots will lose 7 games in a season. Let that sink in.
Since 2002.
2002. I remember that team because we went, I don't think we were very good, and we went to New England and beat them.
Yep.
Coming
the year after they
won the Super Bowl. Skip, Cam is like a lot of other quarterbacks. He needs immense amount of talent around him to help. Now, Mike, this will help me understand this, Mike. Tom Brady last year, in this very same offense, everybody says they're talent devoid. He needs more help. He goes to Tampa, playing well. Cam Newton is in the same system. Cam Newton is done. How does that work? If Tom Brady wasn't done playing with this, why should Cam be done? Why can't Cam get to a situation where they have weapons, where they have a nice running game? Even though they don't run the ball, I would like to see Tampa run the ball even more. Ro Jones is 4th or 5th in the league in rushing, Skip, with the amount of attempts that he actually...
On yards per carry.
Yeah.
Per carry.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get enough attempts.
He doesn't get it right. He's, what, 700, over 700 yards. He's on place to go for like 1,100 yards. So all the thing is, Skip, is that what I saw last night is that when Cam turned the ball over, when you're that devoid of talent on the offensive side of football, Skip, you can't turn it over because you're not built to come from behind. And what we see, if they can't run the football and get non-offensive touchdowns, we know you're supposed to score the ball on offense because that's what the offense is supposed to do. But if you cannot get a punt return or a kickoff return or a pick-6 scoop and score, and you turn it over on your possessions, well, they're so lack of talent, Skip, they're going to lose the ball game, and they're going to look pathetic in the process. And that's what we saw last night. We're actually watching the Patriots, and we're like, damn, that's the Patriots? And the only reason we know it's the Patriots because that's what they said. That's what the TV kept saying. And I think Joe and Troy kept telling them, that's the Patriots, that's the Patriots. But, Skip, you look at that team like, 3 points? That's all they got, 3 points. And they're gonna lose 7 games for the first time in almost 2 decades. That's how far they've fallen. But that ain't Cam's fault. That's the guy in the hoodie. That's the guy that's making the commercial for Subway. Because he shop for all the groceries. Every piece of grocery, the silverware, the ingredients, he bought it. Coach Belichick did that. So if I'm giving him 75, 80% of the credit for everything that went good, I'm giving him 75, 85, 90% because Brady's not there now. So I'm giving him 90% of the blame. You put that in there. So what we see that doesn't taste good, that isn't appealing to the eye, is Coach Belichick. But I still believe Cam can play if you give him weapons. But the days of him being like what he was in Carolina, Skip, when he didn't have a whole lot, and being able to overcome that and be Superman, nah, he can't be that guy.
He's 31 years of age. He's taken a lot of pounding. He's taken a lot of pounding this year. And yet I echo what both of you just said. I'm not going to condemn him for this. I will condemn Coach Belichick because he's not just Coach Belichick, he's GM, personnel director Belichick. Yeah. He's everything. He's President Belichick.
He's the only difference between him and Jerry Skip, he don't have the ownership title. But everything underneath is Coach Belichick.
And that cupboard is pretty bare. And in Cam's defense, in Carolina, he had a security blanket named Greg Olson. And boy, that's Michael will attest. When in doubt, if you can throw it to a tight end like that, a receiving tight end, he's got none. Last night, he threw one ball to one rookie tight end, and it was not caught. That's all he's got because there's not even Ryan Izzo. He's now on IR. So they went from the GOAT tight end and Gronk to no tight ends. That's Belichick's fault. In my life of watching Belichick coach, I have never seen a Belichick team get so dominated in both lines of scrimmage by the Rams offensive line and the Rams defensive line as happened last night. That's all on him. Got exposed. Now to Cam. He asked Cam to win a lot of games with his legs. And the truth is, if you look at Cam's season in total, it's pretty great, actually, because he had them within one play at Seattle of pulling off what seemed like a miracle at that point. They lost 35-30, and Shannon, I think Michael also said, you got to bounce it. You just got to bounce that last play, and he didn't. Okay? And then at Buffalo, it's a late fumble, but you're driving to win the football game, right?
Yep.
Okay, so there's 2, and you got 6, and you got a bunch of nice wins against Baltimore at home, Arizona at home. It's pretty good. But look what happened to Cam, and Michael can definitely comment on this. Look at Cam's rushing. He's rushed it 113 times. It's only 3 short of Lamar, who leads the league in rushing attempts at 116. But Cam's yards per rush have fallen to 3.99, which ranks 17th. We'll start doing the math. That means you're just not getting enough yards because you're taking a pounding. You're 31 years of age. And Michael, talk about what happened to you when you got into your 30s. You just can't take the beating anymore, right?
Yeah, Skip. And it's also, it's more mental than anything. You go into games and you specifically have to show up. And to what Shannon said, can't be Superman like he was in 2014, 2015. It's just not going to come back. Those days are gone. So when you go into your 30s, it's this mental, lapse that you have thinking, that you can, do the things that you used to do, but it's just not there. And, in your mind, when it needs to show up, you can't move as fluently as you once could. And, that alone, watching that on film, it starts to become evident. You start to see it and you start to believe it at some point. And then you start looking at the guys around you like, man, I really need help. And then you don't see the help around you. And then it's just discouraging from there. So, you start to lean on your coaches and the game plan, and everything has to be perfect. And in football, nothing is perfect. We have to go out and make the perfection come to life. And, when you can't do that, you find yourself in difficult situations where you're sitting at 6-7, or you're finishing out the season 8-8, and you're fighting. So this is an uphill battle for Cam. He's ultimately going to need the pieces around him in order to have success moving forward in the future.
Go ahead, Skip. Go ahead.
Well, here's the issue. What if it doesn't work out? I don't even know where Belichick's going to turn, because they've been too good to get a high pick and one of those stud quarterbacks in the top 5 or 6 picks, because they're sitting at 15th right now because they won too many games for their own good.
And the low picks they've been getting hadn't been turning out too well.
And yet, if Belichick really wanted to go forward with Jared Stidham, I got to really question his acumen in picking players, because that looks like a disaster to me. But what if they cut bait with Cam? What if I don't know what there's rumors they could get, maybe San Francisco parts ways with Garoppolo, and Belichick says, he's my guy, I want him back.
Oh, he definitely go get Garoppolo.
All right, okay, so fine. So what if Cam hits the open market? I remind everybody, he lasted until July 8th before anybody signed him, and that was out of desperation by Bill Belichick. Usually when Belichick cuts somebody, you stay cut because the rest of the league says, oh, the GOAT coach cut you, right? My problem with Cam is, I love him because he's just a flat-out baller, and I don't disagree. If you give him some pieces, a little bit of help, Yeah, he can still play, but you don't want Cam as your backup because he's too good to be a backup. His aura is too great. His personality is too big. He's not a clipboard holder.
Right.
He's not Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's a nice guy who just says, I'm fine, I'll take it, right?
Right.
Okay, so, Michael, where would Cam go? If he does get cut by Belichick, do you see him landing any place?
Now, that's a good question, Skip, and I was thinking the other day, where could Cam end up? And going through the Rolodex, you know, it's hard to find a team out there who needs a quarterback at this moment. I think the league is filled with teams who have their guys in place or got their eyes on guys who may be able to enter, you know, in the future, you know, mainly guys coming out of the draft. So it might be a situation where Cam has to take that backup role and take that backup role serious, and then wait till another opportunity open up so he can go out and show the league that he's productive. But that gives him time to get healthy and get healthy not only physically but mentally, because football can take a strain on you. So as of right now, I can't pinpoint a team, you know, that might be open, you know, for Cam to step in and be a starter.
Let me say this, Mike, and you can attest to this. The hardest thing to do as we age as athletes is to be something we've never done before. Cam has never been a pocket passer. So what does he evolve to? What can he evolve to that will prolong his career?